mentioned, my name is Daniel Hassler. I'm a senior at Park Tutor, and I've been swimming for Carmel for about 8 years now. And I'm very excited to share my experience with you. First, I'd like to tell you all how I got into swimming. Like many of you, I started swimming during the summers for a neighborhood team. Now, it was during these summers of baby bottle pops, fruit roll-ups, and fun dips that I began racing some of the best 8-year-olds in the metropolitan area. I was a decent neighborhood swimmer, but I just couldn't match the firepower of kids like Scott Noco and John Stye, who were perennial high point winners at the final invitational. Now, my swimming career could have easily ended there. I could have gone on to perfect my basketball shot, used my growth spurt freshman year to post up in the paint, and led Park Tutor to a basketball state championship. But, thanks to one special lady, this was not to be my destiny. Mrs. Mary Stye, who is sometimes referred to as the Bill Polian of the Carmel Swim Club, because of her cutthroat ability to assess talent and see something in me. Now, whether it was that steely glint in my 8-year-old eyes as I stepped up to the 25 butterfly, or my swagger as I went to the hot dog stand, she saw that under the right conditions, I could be a national level swimmer. It was Mrs. Stye who first recruited me and informed my family of the possibilities here at Carmel Swim Club. And 10 years later, I'm very glad she did. If there's anything I want you to take away from what I tell you today, it is this: never sell yourself short. I can't tell you how many times I became so frustrated with this sport that I considered backing away from it. If you're going through this right now, don't worry. It's normal. Just listen to me for a few minutes. When I was 10, I joined the Carmel Swim Club and was placed in the Tiger Shark group, which at the time was coached by Trish Tyner. I can still remember my first practice. Now, I believe it consisted of about 15 minutes of stretching and then about 1,000 yards of light swimming and drills. So everyone in here knows that's a really easy practice. Well, I can also remember coming home, stomping into the kitchen, throwing myself on the floor, and while lying on my back as my mom cooked dinner, sobbing, "Mom, I can't do this. Tiger Sharks is going to kill me." She listened for a few minutes and then calmly stated that I would continue swimming for 2 weeks, and if I still thought I was going to die, I could try a different sport. Well, I made it the 2 weeks. I was really enjoying myself until the inter-squad meet. If I could describe my inter-squad meet in a single word, that word would have to be hullabaloo. I thought if my first 2 weeks as a Tiger Shark hadn't killed me, this inter-squad was just going to finish me off right there. I walked around aimlessly, a blank stare in my eyes, trying to figure out what the names and numbers on the heat sheet meant, and strategizing about how I was going to hurl myself off the giant metal blocks without hurting myself. Well, I didn't miss any races, was only disqualified in one, and managed to sidestep the block issue by simply jumping off the side. Overall, what could have been a sport-ending fiasco turned out to be a sort of confidence booster. I realized I could make it through a swim meet with heat sheets. Fast forward about 7 years to my sophomore year in high school. It was January, the hardest, darkest month for a swimmer, especially for a swimmer in an Olympic year. As an impressionable 16-year-old, I wanted nothing more than to qualify for the Olympic trials that year in Omaha, and I was putting way too much pressure on myself. To make matters worse, I was quietly dealing with tendonitis in my shoulder. At practice, I wasn't myself. Normally, I like to crack jokes and help Nick flirt with the girls. But I had become introverted and serious. I kept worrying about making that cut. 4 minutes, 30 seconds, 49 hundredths. I was not enjoying the everyday training process. So it probably surprised Chris Plum when one day during practice, with only about a half hour left, I got out of the pool and told him I was walking out. I told him I couldn't do it and I'd had enough. But Chris knew I could do it. Chris wouldn't let me sell myself short. He told me to get back in the pool and finish, and I did. I finished the practice, and 2 years later, I'm so thankful he didn't let me walk out on my teammates and my goals. After that low point in my swimming career, however, things quickly got better. A team training trip to California, that remains to this day my favorite vacation, quickly reignited my passion for the sport. My shoulder stopped aching, and the next summer, I got my Olympic trial cut. At this point, you're all probably wondering to yourselves, What is wrong with this kid, and why is he always crying? Well, while it's true there were some rough times, I can think of so many more fun times. For example, the time I finished the 500 free in Nashville and jumped out of the pool and flexed to the crowd. Or the time I wore an entire hotel comforter to the blocks at the Stanford Grand Prix. Or all those days clowning around with Stevie Scheller and Matt Girth in the club lane. So back to my advice. Never sell yourself short. With the opportunities available at Carmel Swim Club, you are all more than capable of achieving any goal that you choose to pursue. Whether it be making through a tiger shark practice, diving off the blocks at the inner squad, or achieving Olympic trials cut. Everything seems so scary and monumental at the time, but after a while you realize it wasn't such a big deal after all. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank some important people in this room. First, I would like to thank my Grandma Edie, who I believe should win the USA Swim Grandma Award for attending the most swim meets of any grandma in the country. Whether we were at the Speedway 6-lane pool or the University of Minnesota natatorium, I could always count on G-Mama in the stands. Thanks for all the waves, Grandma. Mom and Dad, thanks for all the opportunities you've allowed me. Thanks for all the rides. And Dad, thank you for keeping technique advice to a minimum. I love you both very much. To Chris Plum, thank you for molding me into the man I am today and for showing me what it means to be truly passionate about work. I'm sorry about growing taller than you. To Ian Murray, thanks for all those practices in the club lane and for always looking out for me. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have been able to keep training the way I wanted to in high school. To my teammates, thanks for being the best friends a kid could ask for. You guys make growing up fun, and I can't wait to see how successful you become. Long after I swim my last laps, my muscles go soft and my times fade from memory, I hope we'll all still be friends. Thank you all for your attention, and long live the Carmel Swim Club.
That always turns out better than I hope. Well, now we get to have our future seniors awarded today, hopefully. So we'll start with our awards.